All right, the business of asset management and the competition in the industry. Let's find out more. We have Donald Putnam. He is the founder of Grail Partners. That's a merchant bank that specializes in asset management deals. And he joins us from the CFA Institute's annual conference in Boston. Donald Putnam, welcome to Bloomberg.
Thank you, Pimm. Good to be here.
So explain a little bit about the asset management business. What characterizes competitive strength in that industry right now?
Well, it's an interesting question. At the moment, the asset managers are trying to decide whether or not to point the attention of their clients forward to the great potential that today's markets offer for wealth creation and solving some of the deficit problems of their pension plans and so on, or whether to point them back at the mistakes that have been made in the past by their competitors. And the competitive landscape is pretty dynamic at the moment. It's definitely, we haven't quite transitioned to become the History Channel and talk about Custer's last stand, but it's a story of the African veldt and the competition among the different species.
All right, well, explain, if you can, some of the new products that asset managers might be offering in order to gain this competitive edge.
The big move in the industry is really in two areas. In one area, we are going to be trying to deliver to consumers products that deliver some of the returns associated with hedge funds and total return funds and private equity funds in a consumer-friendly format. And that is quite a challenge, but actually Europe has taken the lead with the UCITS 3 and 4, and we're seeing the industry move in that direction of making these products available to everyone, not just the super rich. The second big move, and I think this one will also be important, is to increase the amount of advice that's given with asset management. We allowed our clients to make what in retrospect were overly ambitious portfolio allocations, and we have to be better advisors to those clients in the future. And that's a real focus every day for the great asset managers.
Do you see an increasing use of guaranteed income products? Is that also part of the sort of assortment of asset management products that's going to be on offer?
I do, and it's going to come from the insurance industry. And this is one of the areas where the new regulatory architecture may, in fact, enable something that was very difficult in the past. With a new national insurance regime, we could put a much better answer into the hands of America's families with real guaranteed retirement income. And since this is occurring at the same time as the Social Security system is, shall we say, weakening, and the pension systems are being closed, and unions are suffering cutbacks, this is especially important. Insurance companies will play a bigger role in the future.
What about the role of fees in the asset management business? Are they going to be reined in, or are people going to have to watch specifically the fees they get charged?
I think we are. The solution in America to excessive fees is going to follow the same pattern it did in the brokerage industry and in other industries. Disclosure is going to be perceived as a cure, and I think this is actually correct. We're going to be making it easier for people to know not only what they're being charged, but who's being paid out of what they're being charged. So I do expect fees will come down. I think consumers will be able to be smarter very easily. It's less akin to putting the government health warning on the side of cigarettes and more akin to putting the ingredients on the side of food cans. And that's a good thing.
Donald Putnam, talk a little bit about consolidation in the business. There's been a lot of talk about how it's just always going to get bigger and that there's not going to be any room for small asset managers. What's the trend?
Well, I think we're actually seeing two different trends emerge, and this is really pretty good news. On the one hand, we are seeing consolidation in the delivery of these financial products. The companies are getting bigger. Invesco, BlackRock, PIMCO. We're seeing a Western Asset Management part of Legg Mason. These are all large, efficient companies at delivering asset management. But at the same time, we're finding that those same companies are going to be able to deliver products manufactured or portfolios constructed by teams, small independent teams. Think of it this way. Amazon.com doesn't just make it possible for a great, well-known, globally recognized artist to be published all over the world. It also makes it possible, very efficiently, for a small poet to be published all over the world. And I think what you might think of as the simultaneous consolidation of distribution and fragmentation of portfolio poetry, that may be the way of the future 5 to 10 years from now.
Donald Putnam, give you about 20 seconds on advice and counsel. Is that coming back into vogue?
It really is, and frankly, this is where we all failed over the last 3 years. We became convinced we discharged our duty when we told people about the probabilities that something bad would happen. We forgot the real role of an advisor is to keep them from making the wrong choice, and we have to be a lot more attentive to that.
Thank you very much. Donald Putnam coming to us from Grail Partners from the CFA's annual Institute Conference in Boston.
My pleasure.
Now, coming up